Breaking news, public docket, and on that docket, violating civil rights is elect President Donald Trump. And as you see, Donald Trump, and no, he did whatever he want. Well, government powers are limited. And here, as you see right there, Donald Trump is called to honor the Constitution's checks and balances, of which he did not do. Now, here's the catch to what's happening right now. No person shall be a president having previously taken an oath to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of both houses, remove such disability. Well, this needs to be done because the Constitution checks and balances is an essential part of the Constitution, and it prevents unethical behavior, and there's a transfer of power. Now, that's where the government cover-up comes in, and the transfer of power to the citizen. Power to the people. Yeah, so money and power, corruption. And here we have that at its highest height with the President of the United States, which includes President Joseph Biden. And what it does is ensures that no branch will be so powerful that it can do whatever it wants to the people and get away with it. They have to be checked for corruption. And as you can see, Donald Trump's office. And what they're saying, before you take office, you must publicly acknowledge breaking oath of office, which requires 2/3 of both houses for you to take office. Y'all heard me. He cannot take office unless 2/3 approve of that. And the Treasury owes Jesha Miller, what I'm talking about, hustling for money, baby, $6.75 billion for the United States Supreme Court imposing slavery. That's why it's a government cover-up. United States Supreme Court imposing slavery, prohibited by the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. All three branches are corrupt, and it said, go public on the 25th. Well, it's past that date. But what I'm going to show you next is, and we have to Donald Trump again, which all have refused or failed in their duties and must be held responsible for the oath of office. Refusing to honor the Constitution checks and balances. Checks and balances are absolutely necessary and extremely important. And as I said, Donald Trump's office received this and has not went public since the 25th at all. So once again, this, as you see, received. Donald Trump got the seal on it. Petition of the Constitution check is empowered by the Constitution checks and balances, requiring the judicial branch be held accountable, violating the 14th Amendment right to due process, 13th Amendment prohibiting slavery, a miscarriage of justice, imposing slavery. That's what they was concealing. The United States Supreme Court imposed slavery. So when the United States Supreme Court is corrupt, the entire branch of government is corrupt. They had to be checked. And as you see, once again, government powers are limited. That's in violation of Article 1, Section 9, powers denied government. So as Donald Trump refused to honor the Constitution checks and balances, there you have it for his impeachment. But you never saw this because it was a government cover-up. As petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances, I, Jesha Miller, have a status quo both politically and socially to impeach President Trump, judges, U.S. attorneys, politicians, and indict all others in the Maryland doctrine of exclusion, acting in defiance of the Constitution and the laws of the United States. So what I said, Trump got to come forward, has to be approved by 2/3 for him breaching oath of office. It had been done at that time, being the government cover-up. And what did it say? What is the penalty for violating the oath of office? Removal from office. See, this is what he would have really been removed from office for his breach of oath of office, of which he took. Now, as I said, it was a government cover-up. There you have the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Here you have the President of the United States, as you see, to the White House. And then you have the Constitution's checks and balances. Taking oath of office, you swore to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, which you are called upon to do as the first order of business immediately February the 5th, 2021. We done had an election already since then, and they're still concealing this from the public. As I said, Donald Trump has to bring this to the public's light as the president-elect, because he cannot take office unless it's approved by 2/3, and then you got to honor the Constitution's checks and balances, of which I petition. And then there's a transfer of power, and that's why it was a government cover-up. A government of the people, by the people, and for the people. When the government is corrupt, there's a transfer to the power. And now I, Jesha Miller, veteran, served to protect the right to freedom and justice in America, and to prove this before a candid world. And as you see right there, Deputy Wally Andriamo of the Treasury disbursed $6.75 billion immediately upon receiving this motion from the court, of which he did not do. And now as U.S. Attorney General Mary Garland, here the Department of Justice enforces federal laws, seeks just punishment for the guilty of what he's concealing from the public, and ensures the fair and impartial administration of justice. So where is the justice for black people? We ain't received none. Now, this cover-up goes from Jeffrey Ragsdale, counsel of the Office of Professional Responsibility, and also new magistrate Crystal Walderman. Checks and balances or official order mandate government be checked for corruption. Checks and balances essential cannot be moot. And all branches are corrupt, usurping the Constitution checks and balances, which is an official order mandate the government be checked. And what they did also, constitutional guaranteed right violating civil rights, is the First Amendment right to speech press, which it states enables every citizen at any time to bring the government and any person in authority to the bar of public opinion by just criticism upon their conduct and the exercise of the authority which the people have conferred upon them. Now, the evils to prevent it were not merely the censorship of the press merely, because the press cannot stop this by censorship. It's a guaranteed right, and that's what they violate in the civil rights, First Amendment right. But any action of the government by means of which it might prevent such free and general discussion of public matters that seem absolutely essential. Checks and balances are an essential part of the Constitution to prepare the people for an intelligent exercise of their rights as citizens, where the power is transferred to the citizens to protect our rights. Now, I know you're wondering how they got to this point. Well, we got the United States Special Prosecutor Jack Smith. As you all remember, he was to get new evidence. Well, this evidence, what I just showed you, was given to him to present so that President Trump was ineligible to run, as well as Kamala Harris was ineligible to run, considering that President Biden breached oath of office and required his impeachment. And if you remember that right there, that's your boy Jack. Special Prosecutor Jack Smith addresses reporters. Now go public with new evidence. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are ineligible to run for president. Right there. But he concealed that from the public, as I said. And that's the United Special Attorney. All three branches are corrupt. And as my representative, that will be Larry Bouchon, who also concealed this from the public. Call a press conference Monday, October the 16th, 2023, and take the Constitution checks and balances to the floor of the House, which is an official order mandate all three branches of government are checked for corruption, as they have usurped the checks and balances which uphold the integrity of the Constitution. Hey, so Trump, Yeah, you better answer up. You got to answer to this, because what y'all doing is what they call white supremacy. And as I said, I'm owed $6.75 billion. And the doctrine was written to ensure the blacks will remain subordinate, non-competitive, non-compensated for workforce. This public edit later became commonly known as the doctrine of exclusion. Well, I'm in. And if you want to be in, Donald Trump, you better call that press conference, inform the public that you have to need these 2/3, and the government has to honor the Constitution checks and balances. And $6.75 billion I'm owed immediately. Thank you. Wake up, America.